Take one.
My name is Busola but a lot of people might still know me by my maiden name, Busola Akin-Olawore. I am a researcher and consumer behavior specialist. So I am Nigerian. I was born in Nigeria and migrated to Canada when I was 13 years old for school. I think maybe the most impactful thing that happened in my childhood was moving to Canada at such a young age and living with my sister, who was also a teenager. So the two of us had to learn to take care of ourselves and had to mature very quickly. Oh, no, I did not. I always wanted to be a doctor. I thought about being a pediatrician or a veterinarian doctor, and then now I'm a researcher. So definitely not the same, the same path, but yes. Okay, so I studied psychology and health studies at University of Toronto. After graduation, I was trying to find a job, couldn't find one. So I went back to Nigeria, my home country, and I did a research project in public hospitals with the local government to understand what the causes of maternal mortality were. It was one of the best experiences of my life. I did it for 6 months and I came back to Canada hopeful and telling myself I know what I want to do. I want to go into research that will have an impact. That didn't happen. I didn't get a job. And when I went back, talking to professors, trying to see what I could do, how I could get a job, everyone told me I needed to get a master's degree. But the challenge was I didn't know what I wanted to do a master's in, and I did not want to do a master's just for doing a master's sake. Someone told me about a program at Humber, a data analyst program at Humber. So I applied for the program, and part of the program you had to do an internship. So I got selected by a market research company. I worked in the company for about a year, and then I moved to Spain to do a master's in market research and consumer behavior. And I think that was really when this journey I'm on right now started. So after Spain, I moved to Nigeria. I worked for one of the top 3 market research companies in the world, which was really my goal. And I remember one day, my dad said to me, why aren't you happy? And I just told him like all the problems I was having at work. So he said, if you get another job, all of these problems, you're still going to have them. Mm-hmm. So how about you create the life you wanted? And that's the journey I'm on now. So I am the founder and owner of a research company in Nigeria. Yeah, I think one of the biggest challenges I still face it every day, even now, is imposter syndrome. Sometimes I just feel like, it doesn't make sense. Why me? The little girl who used to tie her feet and go down the stairs. And now, I'm running a company and people are looking to me for direction and advice. And, I'm getting huge contracts and numbers I've not seen before. And I can't even imagine and dream it. And I think another thing is also I work in Nigeria. So my company is in Nigeria. And Nigeria is still a very ageist and patriarchal, can't say the word right, but I know you know what I mean, country. But for me, as long as I'm still counting my money in the bank, I'm fine. They can keep saying it. I mean, I correct it sometimes, but I just double charge when I know I'm in situations where I'm going to be insulted. Yeah. So when I first heard this question, I don't think I have made it. But then this might be imposter syndrome again, so maybe I have made it. But I think for me, I'm just pushing the limits. Going into entrepreneurship, I grew up in a home filled with entrepreneurs. Both my parents are entrepreneurs. I know the struggles are hard, because it's not just about the business. You also have to think about the people who work with you, and all elements of the business. So I think for me, when I made it, was really pushing myself to the limit and doing something that my personality normally would have never done it. Just taking that risk and being content with the life I have chosen. So first of all, curiosity. You have to want to know more. You have to be curious. You have to be able to think outside the box. And being analytical. So one of the biggest problems we have in our industry is people just have facts, but they don't know why. They don't have the insights. So taking that step further and understanding the why behind it. And once you understand the why, what are we going to do next? Now that we know it, it's not just another report. We need to action it. So I would say curiosity and then analytical skills. So pre-COVID, I was a researcher. So ensuring that, my employees and my clients, they understand that I'm passionate about research and I know research. But I think I'm more of an entrepreneur because I realized during the process that a lot of people looked up to me, especially my employees. So everybody's asking me, what are we going to do? I was kind of their guru for direction and I knew nothing, absolutely nothing. I didn't even know what to do. But I think that's what entrepreneurship is about. So I had to put on that role as an entrepreneur, a business person, being able to give them, a bit of structure and make hard decisions that people don't want to make. And as I'm maturing, I'm becoming more of an entrepreneur and less of the product, the researcher. Yeah. I'm an introvert. I don't want to say I'm not a people's person. I don't have a problem with people, but if I can avoid being with people, I can avoid being with people. And I think that came out a lot with my relationship with my employees at work, because I just think, we come to work, we get the work done, we go home. And I started realizing that my employees were doing the bare minimum. And when we have conversations about it, of course everyone doesn't want to tell you you're a terrible boss. But over time, it started to become clear that I was a terrible boss. And I started reading a lot. So there was a book I read, I think it's called Principles, a huge book, but it really gives you principles on work and life. So that was something I took on, and I started implementing it last year, so 2020, yes. In 2020, although COVID came, it was actually perfect, because a lot of things that I wouldn't have normally done, I started doing it, and I found my staff extremely committed. There was a time when we were locked down in Nigeria for about 3 months, and during the 3 months, I think the last of the 3 months, I told my employees that, okay, we would just have to stop. Because we didn't know when it was going to end, when the lockdown was going to end. And every single one of them were like, no, we'll work for free. It's fine. We don't need to stop. And that was when I realized that all of the effort I was putting in was actually working. And my conscience could not allow them work for free. But it was really the thoughts that mattered. And I found that, when all of the work came in September, when things were getting back to normal, they went above and beyond to make sure things were done. And the passion and the loyalty from them can only be attributed to the way I treated them and the foundations I started to put in place earlier in the year. Yeah, when I was working on my 2021 goals, I realized that I'm not fun, because the section that shows fun and spontaneity, I leave it blank every year. But this year I told myself I'm going to add something. So I thought about something, gardening. I like plants, but I'm terrible at raising plants, so they always die. But I like plants, I like nature. There's a new thing called, well, not new, but I just heard about it, ecotherapy. And I realized I love it. And sometimes I like cooking. I don't think I like cooking, but I like trying out cooking new dishes. So if something new comes up, I would try it out once and that's it. But I like trying to do things, yeah. So I'm a very spiritual person. I really believe in dreams. I really believe that if you think something, you can do it. It's just about putting in the work, persevering through it. Create your plans and make sure you actualize that dream. Along the way, you might realize that that's not the dream that you were supposed to actualize. It's just a journey, and there's a bigger dream, and that's perfectly fine. It's something my dad used to say, no knowledge is wasted knowledge. So I would turn it into my own saying that every experience you go through, every encounter is to help you get to where you're supposed to be. So even if you started off working in a factory, it doesn't mean that that's where you're going to be forever. You start off working in a factory because those skills that you've learned, the discipline, the perseverance, the skills you might need when you end up owning your own business one day. So I think everything leads to something. And once you dream, I believe that God puts dreams in our minds for a reason. So once you've dreamt that dream, you work as hard as you can to ensure that you actualize that dream.